I think we all can agree if we were to remove outside groups, let's talk about Antifa, let's talk about Progressive Leaders of Tomorrow, let's talk about BLM, these organizations that were created by their own definition, by their own statements publicly. BLM was created to introduce Black people to communism, as stated by Patrisse Cullors, who is a self-avowed.
Yeah, but let me touch this piece real fast. This important piece here, though, right? This goes to my point. People join BLM or whatever the case may be for two different reasons. One is exactly what Britt said, right? Do you think that the average, and I'm be very forward, do you think after the death of George Floyd, all the average white people who gave money to BLM had any idea what BLM was? They had no idea. They had no clue. They were just like, I want to be an ally. I want a virtue signal. I want to do the right thing by my friends. So I'm going to go buy a BLM t-shirt. I'm going to give them some money. Yeah. They had no idea. That's piece one. And piece two, what these groups do well is they act like their community. Yep. And because we don't have community, people join them. Go ahead, Britt. You jump in the bit.
I'm just so excited about this because I'm going to say something that's probably going to make everyone angry, but I have not seen a better PR move for a political movement since the slogan "Support the Troops." It's like you can Black Lives Matter and
Transform America
are two sides of the same coin. It's just you can just this makes me feel good. And of course I support the troops. Of course Black Lives Matter. And almost anything under the guise of those two labels could be done. Like we literally have like people at the airport that check us down to our underwear because we said support the troops. Like it's crazy. Like you could burn down a whole Target in 2020 because Black Lives Matter. Like there's so many things that happen because people come up with really good PR campaigns. It's the same. I'm telling you, it is the exact same thing. It is the exact same thing as the gangs in Los Angeles in the 80s and 90s because there was a lack of community. Somebody stepped up with a good PR campaign and said, I'll love you. I'll give you just enough to make you think this is what love is and this is what community is and this is what caring is. And it's all part of the same kind of like heartstrings that we have where it's like just
I am with you, Britt, 100%. I'm on board. I'm on board. Mike's ready to yell at me.
Hey, look, I'm just chilling for a minute.
What's making you angry is that it's true.
Go ahead. Hold on, Mike. Hold on. Let Roderick go in because you can talk for an hour. Let Roderick talk before you talk.
Here's the thing, right? When it came to that whole BLM thing or whatever, right? There was an undercurrent that was happening, right?
That's true.
Right? We had, right, and this is why I agree with the majority of the BLM protesters, right? 90% of them were peaceful, but you had that 3% coming in behind them while they were protesting through their neighborhood and destroying the neighborhood, right? That's the parts they didn't show us in the media, but as the video started, right, as the video started coming out, you seen BLM protesters with the signs walking up the street, but then you see these Antifa types and you see these other bad actors coming in behind them, knocking out windows in the Target, like Miss Britt said, and setting them on fire. And people come back, go, whoa, what's going on here, right? There's many videos where the melanated folks in the community were telling these Antifa types, these I will call terrorists per se, right? People terrorizing the community, telling them to get out. Like, we don't want this here.
Getting demonetized now.
There is that element in there, but let me go back to part of what Britt said and also address what you're mentioning, Roger, because I don't necessarily disagree, although there is a massive difference between support our troops, especially in the time frame, especially in 2001, 2002, 2003, when the United States had been attacked by 9/11, where we had terrorists who were literally in our nation, who literally killed 3,500 of our people. And there's a big difference between support our troops, the Patriot Act, and BLM. Massive difference. Right. And the reason why we have the TSA isn't because of support our troops. It's because of the Patriot Act, which was an overreaction to the terrorists that were allowed to exist because of Bill Clinton back in the 90s. But let's move forward with that. And let's really look at this from a slightly different point of view. Because again, I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you, Britt, but I'm seeing different aspects of it. So when I hear Transform America, which is it's a partial sentence and leaves out the fact of where are we transforming into one of the biggest slogans we have ever heard in a presidency ever. And everyone was supposed to be in love with it. Well, guess what? What were we transforming into? Well, that's where these outside influencers come in, whether you want to call it BLM or the teachers union, you can call it the academia, you can call it, there's a lot of these different groups that are stepping in and they're filling in that gap. Again, government and many of the individuals in government right now are corrupt. They're just looking to hold on to power, and they will latch on to whatever is popular because they don't have the best interest of the people at heart. They're there for the special interests. So they're the problem. And the community is being besieged on two sides by these special interests, many of them who control our social media, our newspapers, our regular media. They are barraging us. They censor this program. They've censored me for 17 years. We can go through. They have admitted in Congress since 2018, every single year that the social media giants come in, they have admitted that they have algorithm after algorithm.
But hold on. I got to be clear on something. What I think Britt's going, and I'm still going to.
And I'm not beating up on Britt. I'm not beating up on you.
Let me hear what I'm saying. Let me hear what I'm saying here. The reason why we were able to get the Patriot Act without Americans pushing back is because if you push back socially, don't you support the troops?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
No,
USA number one. Don't you support the troops?
That is
and let me go to the next piece. Hold on, I got one more. This goes to the BLM piece. Now, how do you get the conversation and laws we have now? And to your point earlier, the idea of the trans kids and such, how do you get that without, oh my God, BLM, right? Oh, what are you a bigot? What are you a transphobe? What are you racist? What are you insert bad word of the day, right? Whatever the bad word is. I do think there's a similarity that culture allows us to shut up because I don't want to say the thing.
This is No Soundbites Allowed, and I am your host, Michael Boss. Dragging into Southern Tier, I'm happy to be here with you today. Eric Holder, the Attorney General of the United States, admitted he has not read the Arizona immigration law. I know it is a difficult task to stand up in front of our peers and say to Congress and say that Congress has failed to listen to voters.
You here at CPAC said yes to President Donald Trump in 2016, and I know you're going to say yes to.
She was very aware that she had the flag in her hands and that the flag was dragging on the ground. That is a intentional action. She knows what she is doing. She then drops the flag. Understand the logic, and we see this in social media on a regular basis, and it's something that Newsweek decided not to tell you about. Representative Sheila Jackson-Lee, a representative in Congress who is writing laws to deny American citizens their rights, has no idea what she's talking about.
And they are against the vaccine mandate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, you support that?
Last time I checked, there were not a lot of planes crashing into each other at airports, right? You can meet a very, very stringent accuracy rate when it's important, when it matters, like in federal elections.
The quote from Joe Biden where he is admitting that he is willing to lie to the American people.